They can't take. Long lost member, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club band. Getting high with a bit of help from my friends. With rifles to my rivals, all my homies.
Happy Moon Day. Happy Moon Day. It's a full moon week, gang. It's a full moon week. Let's briefly get into these energies real quick. Y'all. Ain't gonna be here for a long time, but we're gonna be here for a good time. Alright. Glow Fairy Queen. Holland Spice is in the building. Alright. Sarah Ashley Astrology. Shayna YDC. Hip Hop Catalog Cats. What's going on? I want to just hover over some current transits. I want to hover over the full moon energy. Alright, and then I want to briefly talk about what I got going on with this collective meditation space taking place this week, guys. Alright. No, it's been a long weekend because we always going to pick up on them full moon vibes. We're always going to pick up on them vibes before the peak. A couple of signs before the peak, a couple of signs after it, alright? So we can't just be invested on what's going on when the moon peaks on Wednesday this week. We have to understand how it's affecting us right now, how to prepare for it, and how to deal with it post-peak energy, alright? So let me get right into it. Let me not waste no time. So right now, guys, the moon is in Sagittarius, and today has been one for the books to start the week. Why? Because we got the moon in Sagittarius, but we also got the moon squaring Neptune and opposing Venus. That's a lot for the moon to deal with in one day. That's a lot for the moon to deal with in one day, guys. Okay, we know whenever we have any type of squares with the moon. Hold on, let me put the playlist up real quick. Let me throw some soulful in that background. So we know whenever we deal with the moon squaring or opposing any type of energies, these are things that we need to react to towards the start of the week, right? Or during that specific transit, okay? And it also indicates something that we may need to learn how to be more understanding of. We may not have the proper ways of reacting or dealing with these energies when it's squaring or opposing the moon. So we got the moon in Sagittarius. So we start the week feeling all free-spirited, right? We start the week feeling all spirited, wanting to flap our wings. When the moon is in Sagittarius, anything that plays out as a form of restriction, that's very annoying, that's very frustrating, whether it's a person, place, or thing, circumstance at work, career circumstance, whatever it is. Sagittarius don't play none of that restriction shit. Sagittarius don't play none of that shit. You feel me? So this is the vibe we start the week with, okay? We just came out of a Scorpio moon transit this weekend. So when it came to things that were hidden thoughts, hidden emotions, a lot of these things come to the surface level when we have the moon transit in Scorpio. So we start the week more enlightened. A lot of you guys are probably feeling more enlightened or feel like you have more clarity dealing with a relationship circumstance, dealing with a certain direction that you're choosing to take with a personal aspiration or goal, because you went through that muddy Scorpio water over the weekend, and it helped you to get to the meats and potatoes of certain things, or help you to get to the root of a situation. Okay, so now we start the week with the moon in Sagittarius, one transit away from that moon entering Capricorn in that full peak. And first off, with the moon opposite Venus right now to start the week, we may not be reacting to love matters properly right now. We may not be reacting to love matters properly right now. I just posted the energies up on my Patreon for energies for the week. But whenever we have the moon and Venus beefing, that's a lot of friction, because they're like this. They really harmonize with each other. They're close. Okay, so when we have moon opposing Venus, this is a time for us to start the week where we have to check our values right now. All right, mom is checking the first daughter. All right, the first daughter, Venus, she might be overindulging into a situation with a person, place, or thing right now. So with the moon opposing Venus, this is to help us understand how to look at our values, what we like, what we love, what we may be overindulging in it, what we may be overindulging in, and be able to check that shit right now. Sagittarius, the moon is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius deals with higher learning, right? It deals with higher learning. It deals with spiritual expansion. It deals with our belief system. It deals with morals and ethics. And when we look at Venus in the opposite sign in Gemini, Venus get loosey-goosey in Gemini. We already spoke about this when she entered there in the first place. Venus getting Gemini, Venus getting air signs, and she lose her mind a little bit at times, because she like that energy. She like air energy. Venus don't want to just keep all the love to herself. She wants to relate it, connect it. She want to cooperate. She want to deal with others. She wants to deal with a relationship, with a partnership. So when Venus gets in Gemini, it's like, it's partnership galore. It's all type of options here. So it's all type of things Venus may feel intrigued to engage in when it comes into dealing with different people. So when it comes into these circumstances right now, this is what we're learning right now with the moon opposing Venus in Gemini to start the week. We're analyzing our love matters and being able to understand what we're doing right now when it comes to our love matters. Things feel way better. Things feel way better when you allow yourself to dive into dealing with your pleasures or things that make you feel good, when you were able to limit that shit. It felt way better smoking weed at the end of the day after you done accomplished a lot and you took care of everything you was doing instead of smoking through all your tasks. It felt better celebrating with them drinks in the weekend after a long week of accomplishing a lot of things that you wanted to get done and not trying to squeeze them drinks in every day of the week. All right. So when we put ourselves in a position where we got more self-control with our Venus, with our pleasures, with what we love, it feels that much more better when we actually dive into this shit. Okay. So a lot of this is going on right now. We're looking at Moon opposite Venus. There's not that much going on, even though it's a full moon week. So it's kind of crazy to even say that it's a full moon week, but we don't got that much going on. But with the transits that we do got taking place this week, they're pretty significant. And there's going to be a lot of things with Venus in the air that we got to make sure we're pretty sound with how we're reacting to matters with loved ones in our relationships this week. This is one of them alignments. So y'all have to be careful to start this week with that moon opposing Venus, even though the moon is entering Capricorn tomorrow. So we got that, but then we got moon squared Neptune. You feel me? So when the moon squares Neptune, everything, we're being influenced to, and Neptune's retrograde. So we know Neptune is dealing with the past right now. So a lot of us are sinking into things dealing with past aspirations, past dreams, past fantasies, things that, even aspirations that we may have not put energy work into yet. We're dawning on these things right now, seeing how to recollect these things. If it's worth still bringing that dream, that goal into fruition, that aspiration. Did we lose time for that shit yet? Y'all just shit Neptune being retrograde is going through right now. And then with the moon right now in Sagittarius squaring that energy, okay, we're looking at our past experience, aka Sagittarius experiences, knowledge, our wisdom, and these things right now are supporting us to understand that motherfucking past dream, past aspiration, that shit is still alive. That motherfucker is still alive. You feel me? You just needed more experience. You just needed more wisdom, more knowledge. You just needed more groundwork with what it was before you embarked on that. A lot of y'all gonna be resonating with that type of energy right now to start the week. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Moon square Neptune is some shit. Moon square Neptune, while we have it opposing Venus, is some shit. Why? Because right now, people are going to be creating their own perceptions and their own delusions of things dealing with love matters and intimacy that ain't got shit to do with nothing, and we could subconsciously project on our partners, on our loved ones, on family members, on motherfuckers in the workspace. You got to be... The moon is not having it right now with Venus and not having it right now with Neptune. That's a lot for the moon to be dealing with in one day. All right, so to start this week, what we want to do is allow ourselves to resonate. First of all, this ain't the time to be stubborn, because these type of energies bring solutions, or at least try to get us to see and feel the solution between issues with loved ones. They're trying to get us to see and feel the solution when it comes to how we can embark on a personal aspiration, something that we daydream about, something that's heavy on our heart and our subconscious that we want to experience. Neptune. But Neptune be doing too much. Neptune be creating his own delusions. Neptune be creating his own perceptions. You know, then you got Venus and Gemini wanting to, feel intimacy in a certain way. she's about to be squaring Neptune as the week goes on too. So right now we just creating all different type of perceptions and shit of how we feel like our partner should be loving us. Right now we're in a state where we may try to force our hand and impose almost force the way we want to be loved in a way on our partner, or we could throw all different type of fits right now when it comes to anything dealing with intimacy and things dealing with our personal aspirations. That's us. That shit ain't got, your personal aspiration ain't got shit to do with nobody. Your personal aspirations don't got nothing to do with nobody. So we don't need to be carrying that energy around and throwing it at the wrong people right now. People that's actually in your corner, So this is very important to understand. While the moon right now kind of getting beat up by Venus and Neptune. We got that going on. To start the day, we got to start the week, even though the moon is moving into motherfucking Capricorn tomorrow. To start the week, lucky days right now for the fire signs and the sextile signs, which are Libra and Aquarius. Yes, Libra and Aquarius. Those are the lucky signs. Those are the sextile signs. And then we got Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius to start the week. But when the moon moves into Capricorn tomorrow, these lucky days are now going to shift towards the earth signs. All right. So this is your Virgos, Taurus placements, my Capricorn placements, and the sextile signs, which are Pisces and Scorpio. These are signs that's going to feel uplifted during this full moon. And that's a great segue right into the full moon. And then I want to bring on my beloved special guest that I'm going to be exchanging, sharing energy with when it comes into how I'm going to be conducting this full moon meditation collective space this week. So the full moon in Capricorn, let's talk about it real quick, guys. Okay, so we know, once again, let's get the obvious things out the way. Full moon. Oh yeah, I've been going to work on these hauls, y'all. I told you I had like a sore throat coming into the week. If it wasn't for these shits, I'd probably be coughing all crazy right now in the live. But when it comes into the full moon in Capricorn, you feel me? Like, I'm hyped for this energy. I'm a moon in Capricorn. Shout out to all my moon in Capricorn gang. Shout out to all my moon in Earth gang. Yeah, it was shaking, you heard. But anyways, look, guys, full moon time, it's a release time. All right? It's a release time. So just like how when you come home, when you come home from that long day of work, or you finally get to see Bae, and then Bae just start hitting them shoulders, you like, damn. I didn't even know I had all that there. I didn't even know I had all that tension there. You feel me? If Bae would have never hit them motherfuckers right here, like, hold on, baby, just relax. If Bae ain't never hit you with this shit right here, or the two fingers behind the motherfucking right ear and the back of the neck, you would have never knew you had all that tension. And that's what happens with the full moon. That's exactly what happens with the full moon. We don't be knowing how much things are buried. We don't know how much things we just throw in the subconscious, and we don't want to consciously pay attention to this shit. We don't be understanding how much we do that on an everyday basis. And it is what it is. It's life. You can't pay attention to everything at once, but you do need to take your time to filter what you have built up subconsciously, because what you have built up in your subconscious, it's always going to play out into how you conduct yourself consciously. All right, how you deal with your personal aspirations, goals. This is what we call shadow work. Everything in your subconscious, everything people can't see, that's your shadow. All right, so when we get into full moon times, everything in that house that the full moon is transiting is fully illuminated. This is a time of strong epiphanies. This is a time of strong realizations. Okay? Full new moon time ain't no motherfucking game, y'all. Like, it ain't no game. It ain't no game. A lot of y'all, before y'all got deeper into astrology and shit, some of the most craziest times in your life was full new moon times. You didn't even know that shit back then, though. You ain't know that. If you remember the times that some of the crazy shit happened in your life, or some of the most deepest understandings or whatnot about yourself, go ahead, type that date in. See where the moon was. See what the moon phase was. I bet you was getting close to a full moon week. I bet you it was post full moon peak or some shit. Your most excited moments, the times where you felt like Ain't nothing holding me back from life, from manifesting, creating, or taking initiative with this new aspiration or goal. A lot of them times, that was a new moon phase. That new moon phase said, man, fuck it. I spiritually feel brand new. I feel a new slate. I feel a new foundation. I don't even know why I was crying over this motherfucker. You know, drinking water while you got holes in your mouth, shit tastes like motherfucking, shit tastes like pure ice. But that's what the new moon do. So dealing with this full moon, guys, I always try to tell y'all, you know, first of all, the moon deals with response and reaction, okay? But the moon is full. The moon is full. So we can't overdo how we respond or react to that energy, aka Capricorn. We want to be observational, right? We want to make sure that we're open to picking up the vibes and receiving, okay? We do not want to get in our own way, and we don't want to feel like we know it all around, and not this week. We fools this week. We don't know a damn thing this week. Because the more your ass feel like you know something, the more you feel like you got a control over everything. Okay, key word, Capricorn, control. You just blocking what it is for you that you're supposed to be feeling and understanding or realizing. Like I said, a lot of your strongest epiphanies are during a full moon week. It's during a full moon transit. Now, with that being said, with the moon in Capricorn energy is the energy that we want to understand. We want to observe. That house we have Capricorn in, we want to understand and observe, but we're not trying to have drastic or impulsive reactions to that area this week. The more we do that, the more we're going to see how we'll create a crisis-like moment in our life, a transformative moment in our life. A lot of niggas die during the full moon week. A lot of car accident happens. A lot of irrational murders happen, emotional murders. You know, people making permanent decisions for the rest of their motherfucking life because of some stupid shit. Because you find out your partner was cheating on you, so you stab the motherfucker up. Now you done. You dead. That's it. That's it. Should have just took your ass home. Your true twin flame was probably just a couple months waiting for you. Now you got your homegirls coming like, girl, we told you about that bum ass nigga anyways. We was telling you about that bum ass nigga, but a full moon turned you up. You feel me? Motherfucking full moon your ass in the middle of road rage and shit. And then you get to a light, you start cussing the motherfucker out don't be cussing motherfuckers out at the red light. Not this week. Not this week before that motherfucker say, who the fuck is you talking to? Who the fuck is you talking to? And that motherfucker pulls some shit out the truck. Now your ass running every motherfucking red light. You like, shit, I should have just let that motherfucker I should have just let the motherfucker have a lane. Who the fuck I thought I was? I thought I was about to have a fist fight with a nigga. That nigga pulled out a shotty. So, that's full moon energy. That's full moon energy. Everybody's ready to release. Everybody's ready to release these things, any type of burden that may be heavy on the subconscious, right? This is the week where people say, fuck it. I do the time. I do the crime and the time. Alright? But of course, we not trying to fall into none of that shit. We here to pick up the esoteric meaning of a full moon. We're here to be in our higher energies and make sure we're just open to what the fuck universe got for us. Because universe, God got something for us every full moon. And the most important thing I also need y'all to understand is that the full moon energy triggers the entire axis itself. It's not just the house we have Capricorn in, even though that's going to be the house that's fully illuminated, aka that's the house that, regardless how much things may have been buried in that house, how much things you don't usually pay attention to that house, you're going to feel everything in the house. You're going to be extremely sensitive to that area of your life this week. But the full moon is what? It's always opposite the sun. It's always opposite the sun in Cancer. So it's going to trigger the whole axis. It triggers the whole axis. Okay? So we want to use the sun in Cancer to help us with what we got going on with Capricorn in our Capricorn house. Alright? Because it's triggering both axes, both signs, this full moon has a huge emphasis on our work-family life balance. Okay? So, depending on where you have Cancer and Capricorn in your chart, they're going to be opposite to each other. So if you got Capricorn in the first house, you're going to have Cancer in the 7th. You got Capricorn in the 4th house, you're going to have Cancer in the 10th. You got Capricorn in the 8th house, you're going to have Cancer in the 2nd. They're opposite signs, so they're going to mirror each other. And wherever you have Cancer in your chart, you know this is an area that you're already emotionally connected to, a private area in your life. This area has a lot to do with how you deal with your emotional well-being, and this area affects your emotional well-being and your mental health. And it may be things related to family, especially the connection with your mother or parents in this area. Then opposite, the house that you have Capricorn in, this house has always been an area of responsibility in some type of shape or form. This has always been an area that you felt like you needed to work, you needed to build. You may have gained some popularity or notoriety from something outside of this house, since Capricorn deals with that midheaven social status type of energy. This house don't care about your emotions. This house don't care about your emotions. You feel me? You got Capricorn in the 4th house. Your family members don't know how to show affection for shit. But your parents' love language is making sure the bills was paid. Is making sure you ain't missed meals. Is making sure there's a roof in your head. And that might have been a struggle with Capricorn in the 4th house, because Capricorn don't really deal with moon energy or 4th house family energy. That's Cancer energy. So a Libra rising know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. Capricorn moon know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. Even a Capricorn sun by default may not have the best relationship with their father, with their parents. It may not be a nurturing, affectionate relationship. If you have a lot of Capricorn placements, you may not have that. You may not have had access to that, growing up or in your adolescent stages, So Capricorn energy mixing up with the 4th house, mixing up with the moon, that shit ain't no motherfucking joke. You gotta learn how to nurture yourself. You gotta learn to get into your adult stages and learn that you wasn't nurturing yourself because you had too much responsibility. You was trying to teach your mom how to nurture you, but she wasn't fucking nurtured by your grandmother, and then you realize why you ain't never resonate with your grandmother. Then you get older in life, start realizing your grandmother used to be abusive to your mom, and then now you just hear breaking curses. But that's what we signed up to do. A lot of y'all don't even be remembering the type of motherfucking curses which y'all done signed in y'all contract to help y'all family lineage out, whether it's a wealthy financial curse, an emotional curse, a mental health curse. Yeah, a lot of us, if you have the awareness, and this is how you know you signed contracts for that. If you have the awareness of what the fuck the problem is, you the one here to fix it. I say that again. If you have the awareness of what the issue in your family lineage is, if you have the full awareness of the shit, you the one that's here to fix that motherfucker. So if there's been an alcohol problem in your family for the longest, your grandfather was an alcoholic, then it trickled into your father, then since you was at a young age, your father was an alcoholic and he was real abusive, or you have the type of father, you say shit like, I love my father when he's sober, he's the sweetest guy in the world, but when he drinks alcohol, this, that, and the third, like those type of situations, yeah, you here to learn how to deal with the shadow work that comes with that. And you may have to be the crutch that your father has to spiritually lean on when he's dealing with trying to break this shit his goddamn self, so he could transition into the next lifetime with that not being so much of a burden. So this is all karmic shit. This is all karmic shit when we're talking about, just having a sign in a certain place in your house. And shit, that wasn't even really astrology. That was just picking up things dealing with your family and your parents and shit. All right? So, but that is kind of still what I'm talking about, because it's a full moon in Capricorn, aka where you have Cancer and Capricorn in your chart, all the things you've accumulated from that axis, okay? If only you see how I looked at this. All the things that you've accumulated through this axis, through the relationship between your Cancer house and your Capricorn house, It may be some burdens that you buried because your parents tried to force your career on you, right? Or your career decision had you stop talking to your parents for a while. Or what you wanted to major in college, you told their ass you was going to med school or something. You told your parents you was going to do this, that, and third. Your ass went to college and majored in dance. Your ass went to college. You like, fuck that shit. I'm majoring in culinary arts. And they ain't find that shit out until your ass graduated. That's some shit I do. That's some shit I do. Shit. I went to college for basketball, so niggas ask me what I major, I say sports. What the fuck is you talking about? Oh, they was like, sports management? No. I played basketball. I didn't give a fuck about class. So, shit. If it wasn't for basketball, I probably would have went to college, to be honest with you. I probably would have went to college. There's no knock on anybody who has. I'm just saying. But, you know, it's shit like that. It's shit like that that comes to the surface during a full moon in Capricorn, triggering Cancer. The sun in Cancer is all about this season with us paying attention to things with our emotional well-being. So even leading up to this full moon in Cancer, even leading up to this energy, a lot of us been finding understanding with things dealing with the connection with our mother, with our motherly influence in our life. You know, some of y'all was probably raised by your grandmother, your aunt, with your siblings, with your parents, with your children, with people you consider family. Because a lot of our family here don't even be blood related. That's a whole nother story, right? Right? A lot of our family, a lot of our loved ones, we don't even have the same blood. That lets you know who you, but that's soul tribe right there. So that is family. But all of these things that have accumulated. So let's say you was that person, right? Let's say you was that person. You lied to your parents about what the fuck you was gonna major in, and they ain't find that shit out till graduation. Your mom thought she was gonna see motherfucking white coats at graduation. Your parents thought they was gonna see white coats and shit. Then they was like, okay, for the class of 2022. Culinary arts degrees. First name, they hear your shit, they like, wait, what? No. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. No, my daughter's in a medical program. So let's say that's you. And then after that shit happened, you ain't, Tata, what's going on? Let's say that shit happened to you. You feel me? And then that created friction with you and your parents. Now you and your parents ain't talked for so long. You and your parents ain't talked until you turn 26. Your ass graduated at 21 though. At 22. This full moon is finna have you reminiscing on what the true problem is. You could have buried that situation. You could have said, "Hi, fuck my parents. They don't want to talk to me this, that, and the third. I'm finna take my culinary degree and get busy. Fuck is wrong with them? Y'all lived y'all lives. Y'all lived y'all motherfucking lives, you know? And let's say y'all don't talk. Situations like that it don't matter what house you got Cancer and Capricorn in. Situations like that are coming to the surface right now because that's something between the work-family life balance. And this is what we need to bring understanding to right now. You trying to understand your parents or your loved ones more is always going to provide the solution. But this is with any fucking relationship. Your intimate relationships, your family relationships. Once you go into that shit thinking that you know it all, you know, and you're not coming from an understanding space to understand why they even react the way they do, why they even communicate the way they do. That shit don't get you nowhere. That shit. And guys, I'm speaking to spiritually inclined people here. So I already know a lot of y'all was raised under strict ass religious households. You the black sheep in your family because you into astrology and you got crystals and you got an altar. You know, I know what you go through in the matrix dealing with that shit. You know, having to guard your spirituality to a sense. But it gets to a point you can't hold. Y'all have heard me say this before. You can't hold resentment towards your parents. You can't hold resentment towards them for what? They had their upbringing. They had their upbringing and what they had to experience and what they had to go through. You know. Now it gets to a point where they have to respect your boundaries. You know, that's different. That's different. They could respect your motherfucking boundaries. You know, they could do that. Okay. My mom still asks me to come to church, and from time to time, I ain't gonna lie, I be curving the fuck out my mom with that shit. But from time to time, if a brother not that busy that Sunday, cause I fucked with my pastor. My pastor was like one of my pop's best friends and shit. So like I be doing that shit out of love, you know. Sometimes that shit like that mends the relationship. Shit like that brings healing. But you know damn well when I'm up in that service, I be like, man, how the fuck did I even sign up for this shit? We've been here since 8. It's Tuesday. What the fuck? When they gonna let us leave? I went to Africa with my mom one time. We was there the whole day. I'm being literal right now. We got to that motherfucker. Cause you know Nigerian pastors. Let's get this demon out of this man. So we went to Nigeria. I was in Nigeria, took a plane from where I was staying at to Nigeria, back into the capital, into Lagos, to go to this big church. Shout out to the pastor. He passed away. I don't know how I just forgot his name. Some of y'all parents be watching it. He's like one of the biggest motherfuckers. What's the God damn it. He's a Leo too. I'm gonna get his name later, but big pastor, big ass church. We waking up at 4 a.m. I'm like, God damn. We waking up at 4 a.m. shit to get dressed. We start walking to the church and shit. I'm seeing people from all different type of walks of life. I'm seeing white people there. I'm seeing Indian people there. I'm seeing all type of there. I'm seeing everybody there. White, black, red, green, alien, plant forms. Seeing roses, tulips walking in the church and everything. Everybody's walking in this motherfucker. I'm like, damn. We was in that motherfucker from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. Then we stayed late till 1 a.m. so my mom and me could meet the pastor. Then he gave us like a VIP pass. He was like, you, come back in the morning. I'm like, man. My mom hyped though. My mom acting like my mom hyping shit though. Like we the chosen ones now. Next day we was like in this VIP line. Had us walking in a line. He was touching everybody head. Everybody head he touched, everybody just fell out. I'm like, if they think I'm about to fall on the floor when he touched my head, and my mom dramatic as hell, Mars and Leo, Gemini sun right in front of me, Scorpio moon. I knew my mom was gonna be dramatic as hell. My mom, that nigga touched my mom head, my mom just fell the fuck out. I'm like, mom, get your ass up. Get your ass up, man. But listen, this is me being understanding. This is me being understanding to help heal the relationship between me and my mother. So the person with more awareness gets more responsibility. I'll say that again. The person with more awareness will always get more responsibility. When you get in relationships, sometimes you're a vessel to teach your partner. Sometimes you're a vessel to teach your partner. Our relationships are experiences for you to learn yourself. For real, for real. If you're just looking at it from an esoteric spiritual perspective, that's what a relationship is. You got into this situation as a spirit to connect with another spirit so they could ultimately mirror things and you could see yourself, your path, your journey through a different lens, through a different experience, through a different perspective. Okay? Why you think, what's opposite to the first house, guys? The 7th house. So it don't need to be a twin flame relationship, a karmic relationship, a soulmate relationship. Relationships, period, will help tap you into some shit about your fucking self. A friendship will do that. Relationship with your coworker will do that. Relationship with your sibling, with your child would do that. So this is what relationships do in our life, and this is why human interaction is so motherfucking important. Alright? But I say all of that to say, guys, this is what we got going on with the full moon in Capricorn. Alright? Now obviously Capricorn is dealing with structure, stability, career goals, influences, aspirations. Alright? I think I just said responsibilities. Yeah. How we build stability. All the earth signs deal with building stability, but Capricorn is the part of building stability that reflects how we broadcast that shit to the world. Taurus is dealing with how you plant the seed, aka your values. What are you planting the seed in this lifetime? What do you value within yourself? What do you value within yourself that you say, you know, I could sing, I could draw, I could teach, I could help motherfuckers do this, that, and the third, whatever. I'm planting a seed in that so it could ultimately build into something or grow into something that I could stand on, right? So that's Taurus. Then Virgo. Virgo's the one to help us understand after the seed is planted how we work on that, how we routine it, how we water that seed, how we analyze fatigue after working so hard. So we planted the seed. We was hella excited to show the world that we had this ability, right? And then once we were working on that shit, once we knew we wanted to be singers. Then once we got in the studio and we writing all these songs, we staying late nights trying to record the songs. You know, I'm advertising, I'm marketing my shit. This that Virgo is the one that takes care of the fatigue aspect, aka the 6th house. Virgo's the one that start realizing, like, damn, when you working on something, you gotta rest. Or when you working on something and you going through the ups and downs of trying to build something in your life, that should affect your mental health. This is Virgo. This is what Virgo takes care of. And then Capricorn. Capricorn is the one that deals with the fame, with the notoriety. I don't want to use the word fame for real, but with the reputation, with the notoriety, with the status of what is it you've been building and structuring. You feel me? So they all connect. If a motherfucker value music and was making CDs and then started, and then that's what he valued. So he valued music and he valued connecting music with other people. So ever since elementary school, junior high, you make CDs for people and shit. This, that, and the third. Okay, you making CDs for motherfuckers and shit. If you're a millennial, see, the young generation don't know what the fuck that make. What you mean make CDs? Make CDs for what? This is what we had to do before all of this shit. This is what us millennials was doing in height. This is what we was doing before the iPod and all that shit. We burning CDs. We had our CD players in elementary school. Y'all young folk don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about paying your man's 5-10 cash to make a CD for you with 20 tracks, because your ass don't know how to do that shit. So, boom, you got that going on. So the person values making music. That's the Taurus aspect. Values making the music and connecting it for others. So he plants a seed on making the CDs. Now the Virgo aspect, actually, damn, I made like 70 cash in school today, but shit, this weekend I got like 10, 15 CDs to make though. That's the Virgo aspect. Now that weekend when this person he made a lot of money, but had to make so many CDs. Now Monday, when the Virgo aspect to building, when this motherfucker go to school, is like, yo, listen, y'all, I'm taking slots. I raise my prices. All right. Shit, if you want 10 tracks, that's $15, y'all. If you want 20 tracks, because this shit take time. My computer was motherfucker going out. I had to do my homework. If you want 20 tracks, that's going to be $25. So this is Virgo. Analytical, detail-oriented, observing the work process, you know, understanding a more efficient way to work, a more efficient way to structure in order to help itself deal with fatigue and rest better so it could keep its battery flowing. So this is what a motherfucking Virgo will do to your business. This is what a Virgo will do to your business. This is why Virgos be manifesting all different type of positions in businesses, CEOs passing shit down to them and whatnot, high manager positions and shit, assistant positions and shit, because they help keep the glue together for certain things. They help make that boss job easier. Or if they're a boss themselves, they're gonna be great when it comes into understanding who to hire. Who to hire, who to put in position, because they understand what type of work is needed. All right, and then you got Capricorn. Now you got the status. Now you got the status, or now you got, how you're known from doing this. So now when you're going to a party and you're not even DJing at the party, but everybody knows in your school you make CDs, now they shouting you out on the mic. They're like, yo, come up and hit the booth real quick. Now you on top of the booth, everybody, you feel me, motherfuckers shouting you out and shit. Niggas know you and shit. You get on the turntable real quick. You do your thing real quick. That's the Capricorn aspect to you building. You just created a reputation for yourself. You have a status for yourself. And this is what we're learning to do in the midheaven. How the fuck do we use this status to build foundation? So once you realize you got a status for something, that can be used. It's no different from what's saying like, damn, bro, you got a big platform. You should sell this. You should do that. That's the same shit you're saying. You have a status. You have an audience or whatnot. All right? So that's how the earth signs connect. And with the full moon in Capricorn, these are the things that we're going to be observing about ourselves, past experiences, dealing with things we're known for, we have status for. This is a time for us to release tension and energy when it comes into things dealing with responsibilities, career life, understanding how to transition things, understanding how career affects, once again, the family life. And, the strong emphasis is going to be in the house that we have, Capricorn in. So I'm going to be getting into this. I'm going to be jumping into a meditation space. Peace, queen. Peace, queen.
Let me see if I can position myself a little bit. Hey, my love.
What's going on, queen? I hope all is well with you. So, guys, I just want to introduce my sister real quick. Some of y'all already know her, all right? Some of y'all already familiar with her. This is my sister, Rue, part of Hollands and Spices, all right? We used to do a lot of work back in the day, and we are revamping a lot in today's times. Yeah, a lot of y'all know I've mentioned, I've been mentioning for a couple of days now that I'm going to be holding this collective meditation space on Wednesday. All right, this is going to be on my Patreon, but I also have the link up on my website for those who want to be a part of this. And I thought, who else better to bring the divine up on the platform with me to help lead me with the meditation. So I'm going to just go ahead and give her the floor and let her, so she could go ahead and let y'all know what she's going to be bringing to the table, y'all.
I mean, I don't even really know where to start, honestly. I don't know if we should start with the halls, okay? I don't know if we should start with the throwback and tradition of growing up in church. Like, it's so many points that I want to hit. But hello to everybody. It's so good to see everybody in the room. My name is Moon-Neptune Holland Bay. I'm one half of the sanctuary here at Holland Spices. And more, or some of you may know us as Holland Spices, the Herbal Sanctuary. That is a node to my roots of growing up in church. And so I understand the long services, okay? The tarrying services, the shut-ins, okay? Thinking that you're going to get out of there at one time. But 6 hours passed and we still sitting in church and the praise and worship team just sat down. What are we doing? So I get it. On the other half of the sanctuary here at Holland Spices is my amazing, magical wife, who many of you who are familiar with us here at Holland Spices, I affectionately call her Mrs. Holland, but you guys can address her as Akila Assad Holland. And so together we are Holland Spices, the Herbal Sanctuary. And I am uber excited and so very grateful for this opportunity to partner with Burrow for these wonderful meditation sessions that he's going to be having and bringing what it is that I do over here at the sanctuary to try and be of assistance to you guys as you move through these meditative practices, but more importantly than that, as we really learn to connect back with ritual. And so that's one of the things that I'm most excited about with doing these meditations with you on your Patreon is because one thing that I hold very dear to my heart is really getting our people especially back into the notion of understanding ritual, of understanding why we operated in ritual, and understanding the necessity for ritual. And I think oftentimes we think that ritual or spell work has to deal with lighting a candle or putting together a group set of herbs in order to take a spiritual bath. But oftentimes the greatest aspect in my belief that goes into ritual is shadow work. And so I love that you went so extensively into shadow work, because what I love to teach over here at the sanctuary, when I'm teaching ritual in a way to where it forces you to not only connect to the roots and the herbs, and the incantations and invoking certain deities, but more than that, ritual and learning ritual and operating with ritual over here with us at the sanctuary is going to force you to connect to yourself. Okay, it's going to force you to really understand and get to the root of why we operate the ways in which we operate. Understanding pathology, understanding our ancestral lineage, and being able to identify if you are the person that's been chosen to move your bloodline forward through dealing with generational pathologies, or what some of you may more so recognize as generational curses, which is something that we grew up learning extensively or hearing extensively coming up in Christendom. And so dealing with and partnering with Goro for his meditation sessions, my aspect of bringing or my part of this is really going to be incorporating you guys or initiating you all back into ritual, which is really initiating back into yourself. And so it's going to be some parts of hands-on ritual, is going to be some parts of us sitting down in meditation, but it's also going to incorporate understanding what spirit has to say for us in such a time as this, and without giving away too much before you have your first meditation session this full moon. I have to share this because it went so much into a lot of what you were saying, and I just want to say that this astrological energy is definitely hitting with Capricorn in my 12th house. You hitting Neptune. My Neptune is also in Capricorn. So this energy is all up and and with me. And so before I stop talking, because I can be very long-winded, I just want to share one of the things that I'm going to be doing with you guys during these meditations with Boro is something that I like to call music mancy. And music mancy is a form of divination that spirit gave to me when I started to relearn and to become reacclimated in ritual, coming out of a church background or a religious indoctrination, and not just going to church on Sundays, but being heavily ingrained into church, meaning that there was nothing outside of Jesus. And so one of these forms of meditation that I'm going to be going over with you guys is called music mancy, and it is an art of using divination through music to communicate what spirit is saying to us during this time or during a personal session, what spirit may be speaking to you individually where you are, or spirit could speak to us on a collective level using music if we take the time to just focus in, and not so much as getting lost in the beat, but really taking a moment to be present with what's being said. And so this music mancy meditation message that I want to give really quickly is called Slay with Parables. And it's a wonderful meditative song. It's a wonderful meditative song with this young lady really speaking about shadow work and the importance of shadow work. And some of the messages that came forth, which I think is quite beautiful as we shift into this full moon in Capricorn, Spirit is really desiring for us to deal with our traumas, to really understand our traumas, to get to the root of our traumas, and not just deal with them in a superficial way, but really deal with them in a way to where it really helps you to, like Bora was saying, to give grace to your parents and understanding, that they could do only and give you only what they have out of the tools that they came into this lifetime equipped with, and also the tools that journey may have equipped them with personally as they walk their own individual path. And so Spirit is really desiring for us to really begin to deal and to really feel as Cancer is feeling. I'm a Sun Cancer. So I always say to people, I understand the world the most through my emotions. You know, that is how I perceive the world. That's how I understand the world. That's one of the ways in which I connect with spirit the most is through feelings. And so really using this energy of, you know, still being under this energy of Cancer and really feeling your way through these traumas if you can't logically think your way through your traumas. How are these traumas when they come up for you? What is it bringing up? Is it bringing up bitterness? You know, is it bringing up resentment? You know, is it bringing up motherless child energy? Is it bringing up daddy issues? You know, is it causing you to take a moment and to reassess how you're showing up in your relationships because of this generational trauma that you're carrying? And so Spirit is really desiring for us to deal with our traumas. And then dealing with our traumas, understanding that not only are we healing superficial things, but when we make the decision to heal, we're also healing ourselves as it relates to the treasures that we encompass, the treasures that we come into this lifetime with. We're healing our gifts. Most often, you know, and this is not to throw shade at anybody, but most often, especially what I see the most in the astrological community, is that a lot of times we are operating out of our gifts in a hurt capacity, or we're operating in our gifts, and they're healing people, but at the same time you're operating them in a bitter way. And so when new people come around and they want the knowledge that you have, when there's people coming into your circle and they want to make connection with the gift that you encompass, it's very difficult for you to make those connections because you're bitter in your spirit, you know. And you know, growing up in church, there's a scripture that says that gifts come without repentance. You know, just because you're dealing with trauma, just because you're dealing with, you know, generational pathologies, just because you're dealing with bitterness, it doesn't make you exempt from operating in your gifts, but it should be a charge to you to use wisdom before you operate in your gifts. And so when we're healing, you know, and we're on the journey of healing ourselves, we have to get past the surface of things and understanding that when we make the decision to heal ourselves, there's a whole lineage of tethers that's attached to that healing, right? And so as we come into this full moon, take your healing even deeper than just your mommy or your daddy issues. Take your healing even deeper to spirit, freeing you up in a way to where it allows you to operate in your gifts in an unlimited capacity, to where there are no restrictions. And even when the restrictions come, spirit, you are in such a position with spirit that even the opposition doesn't feel like a delay, right? Even the opposition doesn't feel like a boundary, right? It comes across and it begins to manifest as a lesson. Okay, what is spirit trying to deal with me in this moment with? What is spirit trying to get me to see in this moment, instead of moving forward in a way to where it's just like, ain't nothing manifesting for me, or everywhere I go, you know, there's blockages that I'm meeting. Well, we can't deal with the cause of what you're experiencing until we deal with the effect of how you got there. You understand what I'm saying? And so with this song, with this music, Mancy Meditation, Spirit is really desiring for us to sit with our shadows and not allow that to be something figuratively, but really sitting with our shadows and making peace with our shadows so that nobody outside of you has the ability to point it out, because you've already become familiar with it. I was looking at an interview with Mike Tyson on yesterday, and he was sitting down with Keenan from Keenan and Kel, and they were discussing the word nigga. And Mike Tyson was taking on the position of having the understanding that I understand words, right? And given that I understand words and the power of words, there's no word that a person or a being outside of me could ever charge at me that I'll believe enough to take it on and to wear it like skin, right? And so Keenan was really fighting Mike Tyson on the point of, you're not a nigga. And Mike Tyson is sitting in the position of, I am who I say I am. And if I identify myself as a nigga, then that means that I have some type of understanding of what it is that I'm saying on an intrinsic level, even if you don't understand what I'm saying on an intrinsic level. You understand what I'm saying? And there was a quote, there was something that he said to him that I thought was so beautiful, and it fits right here. When Keenan was really challenging him, Mike Tyson took a moment to where he pushed the mic away from him, and he sat back into his seat in a very short position and said, "But I know my shadow. I've seen my shadow. I've sat with my shadow." As you're trying to affirm all the positive accolades that you see or know of me because of the things that I've allowed you to see, what I speak and what I command over myself, I have the most command because I sat with my shadow the same way that I sat with my light. So in the same way, where some days I can wake up and I'm just a nigga today, and whatever nigga mean to you, it could be nigga in the terms of ignorance. And so you're moving through life in a way to where you don't desire understanding, you don't desire awareness. You're moving through life in the capacity of wearing ignorance. And so therefore, the only thing that can manifest around you is ignorance. But in the same capacity, where some would say that nigga is derogatory, you could have somebody else on the other side of saying, but nigga comes from the etymology of negas. And if we look at the nagas, then that would give us something to be proud about. Because we could look at the nagas, thank you, Spirit. We could look at the nagas as being the forefathers, or of how we look at the forefathers in some cultures, right? And so what we see here is the polarity coming forward. And some could say, and I could be wrong, we could look at Cancer and Capricorn being the polarities of each other. Right?
Yes,
and so
right,
Spirit is really desiring for us to find the polarities in our trauma, right? And to not dismiss them, but how can we find ways of integrating these energies? How can we find ways of integrating our darkness and our light, understanding that there is a necessity attached to both of them in order to make the individual whole? Right? And so that's just one thing that I want to share, because there's so many ways and so many things that I can touch on just with the amount of information and the amount of teaching that you did just in the beginning. And so my aspect of this is really bringing those who will come and sit with us to the feet of Spirit in a different way. You know, you're not going to come here with me and you're not going to get Orishas. You know, you're not going to get 50 million deities. You know, you're not going to get overly glamorized root work. What you're going to get is the root of yourself, right? And us getting to the root of ourselves is finding the most practical, simplified ways of helping us to assess those aspects of ourselves. And that is what I bring to the table. Finding our authenticity in spirit, and finding or reconnecting to our authenticity and how we maneuver in this realm that we call either the conscious community or whether we call the spiritual community. You know, and so these are some of the themes that I also see Spirit bringing up, and the rest of them will jump into them when we get together during this full moon. But I just want to drop that in there and just say, I'm so excited, and I thank you for having me, Borough. Okay.
Sis, you talking about me. You just dropped a million gems real quick. You just dropped a bunch of gems real quick. I'm super excited, to do what we're gonna be doing this week. Like, I appreciate your existence so much. I have to let everybody know, like, I'm a student with so many things myself. I'm always gonna be a student, and this woman right here, this divine woman right here, has helped me so much with things dealing with cleansing energies, my last spiritual bath, working with things around this time, full new moon times, and like, I'm super thankful for that. I show so much gratitude to you, sis. So I'm super excited, and I'm looking forward to what we're finna cultivate this week.
Yes, I can't wait to see y'all on Wednesday, Boro, and I'm just so excited and just proud of everything that you're doing. I give thanks for you continuously being the example on your platform and also using your platform to make sure that you are really expanding our community, not just in a superficial way, but there is physical proof of the difference that you're making, you know, in the individual lives who have the power to come across you, you know, and to just sit and speak with you. And so we thank you over here at Highland Spices for always supporting us and for always rocking with us. And I thank you again for just having me a part of this. And I really look forward to seeing everybody during the first full moon.
All right. Let's get it, sis. I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna chop it up, sis.
Yes.
What I want you to do, before you exit the line, I do want you to type in your
It's the technology for me. It's the technology for me. I don't even know how to do that.
Look, I just want you to leave a comment. I'm gonna pin it.
Okay.
Just leave a comment with how to reach you at Highland Spices so they can check your page out. All right. That's all. I just want to make sure I get that pinned before you go.
Okay, got it. There we go. Okay, Highland Spices right there.
Perfect. Thank you.
I will see y'all on Wednesday. Boro, have an amazing rest of the show, my love. Peace.
All right, sis. Thank you. You too. Take care. Alrighty, guys. I just had to bring my sis up here real quick so she could talk her in. She a whole Cancer, so we supposed to be paying attention to her right now. We supposed to be paying attention to what the Cancers got to say right now. They got the sunlight, you feel me? So just to wrap things up real quick, dealing with this full moon meditation space. Once again, this is going to be something, you guys are welcome. Please tap in with her. Listen, when it comes to apothecaries, when it comes to spiritual candles, when it comes to spiritual, you know, liquids to work with, when it comes to anything to help set your altar up, when it comes to spiritual baths, I promise y'all, y'all not going to find nobody iller than them. You're not going to find nobody. Y'all hit the pin comment, Highland Spices and more. Y'all browse through their store. You know, it's going to be a little late notice now trying to get what you need for the full moon in Capricorn, but leading into the new moon in Leo later this month, y'all. You know, we're going to continue to work with each other. We're going to continue to cultivate these energies, all right? So this is really just the beginning, okay? This is really just the beginning when it comes to that. And like I said, she's helped me. I can't even talk about how many different ways she's helped me when it comes to dealing with, like she said, real ritual and not dealing with 1,000 orishas, 1,000 other deities. Get into your spirit, tapping into your spiritual family, you know, get into the root of the things you need to deal with spiritually and ritual in that perspective. So she has helped me a ton. And, you know, so it's only right to make sure that, you know, we partner up some energies for these meditation spaces. When it comes into the meditation spaces, you know, I'm going to have some words of affirmation. I'm going to, you know, light up some ancestor money for y'all and whatnot. I'm going to pass the floor to my sister. She's going to do her thing and whatnot. And then we're going to get into this meditation space. Okay. Once again, I do have the links up on my website now. So we got about, 48 hours until the peak. The meditation space will be Wednesday, 9 p.m. It'll be Wednesday, 9 p.m. Even if you get the link or if you're a part of my Patreon and you missed the session, it will be uploaded. So it will be nice for you to catch it as soon as possible the next day while the full moon energies are still resonating, and you guys can go ahead, get your meditation on with that, this, that, and the third. You feel me? So, but y'all make sure y'all tap in. With her. Everything's divinely, spiritually cultivated over there too. I know a lot of y'all. Matter of fact, let me just show y'all real quick. I know a lot of y'all, you know, once again, deal with altar work. And I know how much of a hassle it can be trying to put together spiritual baths and whatnot. Trust me, before I was trying to do it it could be a lot. You're trying to get this ingredient, that ingredient, and then cleaning up the residue or whatnot in your bathtub and all of that. these beautiful spiritual baths was cultivated by her, all right? By Hollands and Spices, okay? Real convenient. Let the spiritual bath just soak in the water, activate the water. You take your bath, 1, 2, 3, and you know you're gonna feel as open as you ever felt. You feel me? But just to wrap things up real quick, guys. What I wanted to say, I want to say with the full moon in Capricorn. So yeah, I just wanted to hover over the meditation space, and then I forgot to talk about the damn box. It's all good, sis. We gonna work on some things tomorrow. That's it. You feel me? We'll get some things up tomorrow. No worries. And real quick, yeah, I just wanted to say that this full moon, just more specifics about it, about the actual transit itself. The full moon is going to peak at 21 degrees, all right? 21 degrees at 2:38 p.m., all right? 21 degrees at 2:38 p.m. Our meditation space will take place at 9 p.m., okay? And when we look at the energies that the full moon is going to be in contact with, it's going to be harmonizing with Uranus, all right? It's going to be harmonizing with Uranus, so this is showing this is going to be a time of change. There's going to be a lot of things changing right now when it comes into things dealing with career, how you make money, how you gain stability, how you jump into broadcasting yourself a certain way. Things are going to change with that. And the more that, this is what I'm saying, this is a time for being open, because the more that you're open, the more you can align with these changes that are meant for you, all right? Some of y'all are supposed to be seen more right now, you know, and you're holding yourself back in some type of shape or form. Some of y'all are supposed to be some of y'all are manifesting situations where universe and God is trying to push you into a position to be seen more or be broadcasted more, but you don't realize how that one little idea with your brand and your business that you overthinking about, or you being a little reluctant, just being your transparent self on camera, you don't even understand how that little overthinking energy is actually what's holding you back from walking into a position that's waiting for you. All right. So with Moon trine Uranus, this is a positive alignment. Anything harmonizing with the full moon is going to be another energy that we're going to be picking up on, but it's almost going to be in, because full moons deal with releasing and detaching. So if it's trining Uranus, we're going to be influenced to release and detach from anything that holds back how we excel with Uranus energy, aka our individuality, what's innovative about ourselves, what we individually bring to the collective, our sense of power. Uranus gains power. We're in a world where they make you feel negative for gaining any type of fucking power here, and they try to limit your power in many different ways. Uranus says to hell with all of that shit. We're going to come and gain our power, and this is all through earth energy, because the moon is in Capricorn and Uranus is in Taurus. And us being able to let go any systems, routines, and patterns that we're a part of right now that may get in the way of, once again, what's holding back our individuality. All right? I tell so many people that want to build brands or either want to teach their forms of spirituality, you know, and or want to teach something, period. Like, you are you. That's the beauty in you doing what you're doing. You're you. Can't nobody do what you do like you. So the more that you're comfortable with you just being you, the more what's for you is going to come to you, because you're you. That's it. That's it. You may like how this astrologer do this, how this artist do that, how this creative do that, this, that, and the third. But that's the beauty in you doing what you do, because can't nobody replicate that shit. You feel me? Can't nobody duplicate that shit. That's how you do it. And only opportunity that's for you can come to you. And it's going to get to a point where somebody else is going to be looking at what you're doing, and they're going to probably be inspired and motivated by you. But then they have to repeat what you did, aka by being dumb. So it's great to have your inspirations and your aspirations, right? It's great to have people that you look up to from an idol perspective or whatnot, but we always have to cultivate our own way of doing something, and that's what Uranus is. That's the energy Uranus is gonna have on us during this full moon. Like, yo, fuck what everybody else doing. You got this innovative, individual ass way of doing this, dealing with your creativity, stabilizing this or this idea. Let's break these other patterns down. Don't get it twisted. Full moon in Capricorn, Saturn. So we will be doing construction work this week. Not so much this week. We want to observe this week, and then as the moon starts to go down, aka works its way to the new moon Leo, the rest of these next couple of weeks, that's when we want to start playing construction work and breaking some things down. But that's what the moon in trine Uranus is going to do. Capricorn is all about structure, stabilizing things and breaking things down if it needs to. And Uranus don't give a fuck about breaking some shit down. Uranus don't care about changing and transforming circumstances in our life in order for us to manifest an individual position or authority in some type of shape or form. So that's moon trine Uranus. Then we're going to have moon sextile Neptune. So this is a beautiful time. We only have the opposite from a negative perspective. We only have beauty. What's going on, beauty? If y'all not tapping into Healing House of Beauty, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. That's another one of my sisters right there too. So if if you ain't yeah, we just have the moon opposite the sun, which is granted, which is a given with the full moon, and then we have the moon opposite Mercury. That's the only negative aspects to the moon. All right, but so we got the moon harmonizing with Uranus, then we got the moon harmonizing with Neptune. So not only are we being encouraged to break down certain programs, relationships, observe the connection with people, places, and things, or certain burdens and responsibilities we hold on ourselves that actually restrict us from our individuality, right? We got moon harmonizing with Neptune. So there's going to be a whole lot of, man, fuck this job, fuck this relationship, fuck this circumstance, fuck this household, fuck this environment, because it's actually holding me back from the potential I know I can reach. That's full moon harmonizing with Neptune all day, every day. Because Neptune is your potential. Neptune is what you daydream. When you think about all the progress you can make with your business or your creative endeavors or your creative gifts or something that you're trying to build, that's all Neptune energy. You daydreaming about that potential. The full moon is going to be harmonizing with that. So what does that do? That only allows you or influences you to look at everything that is playing as an op to the motherfucking Neptune potential. But like I said, it's a full moon, guys. So this ain't no regular full moon sextile Neptune, full moon trine Uranus. I mean, moon trine Uranus. No, it's a full moon harmonizing with Neptune and Uranus. So another day when it wasn't a full moon, you felt these influences and you probably neglected your individuality a little bit with moon trine Uranus. Another day we had moon sextile Neptune and you probably, hey man, fuck, I think about my dreams, my creativity another time. Now it's a full moon. Now you feel like you leaving yourself in spiritual jail if you don't acknowledge that you want to put energy work into this dream, this aspiration, this shit that you always daydreaming about, this potential about yourself, this shit that you believe in within yourself. That's what that moon harmonizing with Neptune being full is gonna do. It's gonna. Now this is why we need to observe. Yes, and it's that full moon in Cap. So that's dream plus precious plant. There you go. There you go. I love when y'all come in here and y'all break the energy down. I love when y'all give y'all interpretation on the energies because y'all always on point. So that's what's happening with the full moon harmonizing with Neptune, y'all. That one daydream in your head, that potential you always playing with in your head, we all do it. We all do it. No matter how stuck we in reality and this, that, and the third, no matter how much hours we work that week, no matter what we got to do right now to pay the bills to get from point A to B, Neptune, we all got a Neptune, so we all got some type of potential, or what could be, or this dream, or this aspiration, or our imagination. This week, we not having it when it comes to neglecting these things. All right, so that's full moon with Neptune, and once again, we're just going to have that opposite to Mercury, because Mercury is going to be next to the sun in Cancer. All right, so the full moon is going to be opposite Mercury in the sun in Cancer, aka you're going to have to be able to react practically, rationally, Capricorn, right, towards things dealing with the home environment, you know, things dealing with our emotional well-being, okay, how we think about our loved ones, how we think about our emotion. See, because Capricorn represents reality, and Cancer represents, you know, our emotions. But with Mercury in Cancer, right now, a lot of you guys are going to realize with the full moon opposite Mercury in the sun, how the way you think about your emotions is what manifests your reality. Some people got to learn that with it's going to be a hard pill to swallow this week, because depending on how universe is going to manifest that for you to understand that the way you've been thinking about relationships, the way you've been thinking about how that past person hurt you, the way you thinking about how you getting taken advantage of in the workspace, the way you thinking about this shit is what's manifesting what Capricorn is dealing with, the reality Capricorn dealing with. This is Mercury. This is full moon in Capricorn, opposite Mercury in Cancer all day. And we have to be careful with Mercury in Cancer, even though it's about to, Mercury and the sun, they're going to be in Leo in no time. But we have to be careful with this energy, because Cancer deals with the heart, deals with the emotional well-being. So not only are we paying attention to that with the sun in Cancer, we're analyzing all type of things from a positive and negative space. Mercury is the mind. So right now, our mind can be stuck on our emotions. Now, it's great if we're going to use Mercury to dissect and observe and be constructive critiques of ourselves when it comes into our emotions. But it's only so much you can shift in your reality in a positive way if your emotions are in a negative space. And it's really nobody else's responsibility to get your mental health and get your emotions into a positive. It's really nobody else's responsibility. You can manifest, you know, those opportunities when your loved ones, your friends, you know, maybe even that coworker, you're not even that type, but they just such a cool, open-hearted person, and they pick up your energy and they try to cheer you up. At the end of the day, you got to go home, look in the mirror, regardless of what your coworker said to you to cheer you up, what your child, friend, partner did for you. Ain't nobody else can make us feel a certain way but ourselves. So, you know, Mercury in Cancer has really been pushing us to look in the mirror and have to make adjustments when it comes to what we're connected to and how it affects our emotions, because Mercury gets into a sign and it starts seeing the details of everything. So when the sun was already, and that's what Mercury does for the sun. This is why Mercury's never too far away from the sun. That's why Mercury's only in the sign before or after, or the sign the sun is in, because that's Mercury's job. It's the sun's help me. So when the sun is supposed to be gaining an awareness on what it's about to take action on and how it's going to express itself, Mercury is there to pick up on certain details. Like, hey, son, before you take action on that, just remember you got that trauma over there. You might want to pay attention to that too. That's what Mercury does. All right. So you just have to be careful how dealing with loved ones, dealing with situations in business, certain partnerships, certain things in the workplace right now, that you're not allowing yourself to be too invested in your emotions or how you feel about shit right now, so you could just get the job done. You being too invested in how you feel about something that ain't about your emotions is gonna be annoying and frustrating to other people that's a part of what's going on. So yeah, that's that full moon hitting Mercury, man. That's that full moon hitting Mercury. And so those are the most significant aspects that's going to be taking place around this time, okay? I'm going to continue to talk about this. I'm actually going to work on full moon through the houses on my Patreon tonight, but I'm going to come back on and we're going to hover over some of these energies some more tomorrow, all right, y'all? So once again, full moon, first collective meditation space going down on my Patreon this week. Links are already up on my website, guys. All right, y'all. I love y'all. It was nice tapping in with y'all. And remember, we did have that moon beeping with Neptune and Venus today. So hopefully y'all ain't getting to too heavy of a clash with loved ones, this, that, and the third. Hopefully you ain't start thinking negative ass thoughts, because a sense of intimacy you want in your life, not in your life right now, man. Everything manifests with divine motherfucking timing. And when you ain't got the shit that you want, There's something else to be paying attention to and working on in the moment. Once you find that, the shit that you want, the shit that you need, it'll fall on your lap in due time. All right? Yes, this live is being saved. So have a good night, everybody.